Hey guys, we are back with another episode of Venus and Mars. I am here with Aaron.
How you doing? I'm Aaron. Nice to meet y'all.
And today we're going to be talking about reciprocity. And basically, the focus is on how men don't receive what they put out, correct?
Yeah.
But also, I'm going to be adding in my 2 cents about, I basically feel like when women do put out and they're consistent, they're usually taken for granted. So we're gonna go back and forth about this and hopefully shed some light on the situation and leave you guys with something to think about. But yeah, so what's your stance on it? What's been your experience, etc.?
Well, I'll get right to the point. I'm very blunt, but for me, I've experienced a little bit different relationship situations. I got married about 4 or 5 years ago. Can't remember anymore, but got married and it didn't last very long. Honestly, this wasn't nothing on her, nothing on me. It just wasn't a good time.
Yeah.
And at the time, I feel like that was a time that I really thought I wanted that, but I didn't understand exactly what I wanted, as in I need to receive something in general. But it was so vague, I didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And as I got older and went through some more bad situations, you start to learn exactly what that really means. And I think for men, we have a problem communicating that. I know I did.
Yeah.
Thank God for therapy.
Yeah.
Men therapy.
Right. Right.
But
Please.
I feel like that was a changing point for me to really understand what I wanted and how to communicate that. But social media has a lot of different things going on when you gotta, take a woman for a date and this and that and this and then this, and then we're still chasing, but they want to be a princess, but I want a queen. But it's like, okay,
So you're basically saying that you put out a lot of effort for the women that you're into and it's not reciprocated. Like you don't get
Right.
back what you put out. And like, are you talking about like gifts, being surprised, like just so everybody knows like what you're. Yeah.
So for me, it's not about gifts for me. I'm not a materialistic person. Like you buy me something that's not gonna do anything for me. For me now it's like
not even if it's thoughtful?
Thoughtful, okay, yeah. If it's thoughtful, I would definitely
like,
appreciate it.
I picked this rock up from the ground.
You had
and
the
it
thought
reminded
process.
me. Yeah.
The thought process that you put in for that rock, I appreciate it. I'll put it on my TV or something.
Right.
But it's like, it's just the peace of mind in a sense. I think men are looking for it. And that's the issue. I don't think we understand exactly what it is because we don't experience it. So we just want to feel good.
Yeah.
And I think men get lost in the sauce to trying to understand what that good feeling is. As an adult now, I understand what it is. It's not, yes, you could take me out, take me somewhere, but it's that peace. It's that sense of like security that we also want.
Okay, so are you saying, just so I can understand, so are you saying like, I'm sure a lot of people know about the 5 love languages, right?
Absolutely.
There's 5 different love languages. For those who don't know, acts of services, gifts, words of affirmation, intimate, quality time, and affection. And physical touch. Right, my bad. So, right. Oh, I don't even have, cool. So everybody knows the 5 love languages for the most part. And would you say that, because when I think of reciprocity, just generally, I would think like, hey, women like to be taken out, women like thoughtful things, men want that as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it has to be their love language, or do you feel like it needs to be
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So that's where like, okay, so in marriage counseling, I learned about apples and oranges, as you would say, Venus and Mars, right? And I learned then that we are completely different. And I can't love you how I want to be loved because it makes no sense to you.
Right.
You want to be loved how you want to be loved, and that's just how it is. And I think that's the issue that I've experienced. I just being honest, I try to love how I want to be loved and never worked out. But I think that's the biggest thing, is understand that we aren't the same.
Yeah.
So whatever the case is, like if it's flowers for you, of course for some men, I do like fresh flowers, but you don't have to give it as a gift. But it's something else. Like it's for me, it's just that understanding that I can speak to you, I can be myself around you.
Yeah.
In society, we all, black women, you guys have a lot to deal with, and it's hard. But so as well for us black men, it's like we go through a lot, and I didn't realize mentally I was kind of in a space where like, okay, this is different, you know, like this is a different space. It's life going on. And I feel like a lot of men in their 30s and even late 20s to their 30s are now experiencing life. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, this is real, you know? So when we have a woman around us, and it's like, how can we really express this without looking like we're weak or we're soft, or we don't, you know, we're narcissists, or whatever the case may be. That's all labels that we get. So it's okay, I'll just keep this to myself. And then we don't get our feelings. We don't get what we want, and it's a big issue.
Do you feel that men, and obviously you can only speak for yourself, but you know, generally speaking, do you feel that men don't get what they want because society looks down on them sharing what they need, or do you feel like it's been the women that you've been dating that aren't willing to reciprocate?
I mean, I think it's both, and I don't even put blame on women I've dated, because nothing against them in the past. I just think situations at the time, for me, you know, maybe the red flags were there and we shouldn't have gone forward with what it was. It should have stayed as a friendship, and then that was that. And that's something that I've navigated as I got older. But society as well. I mean, society really makes it look like, especially nowadays, that, you know, to secure a woman, you have to drop a bag. And I don't mind doing that. I can, and I have. But it's like, what about me? Like, I can't, you know, I can take you to Tulum, we could have a birthday trip, we could do this, we could do that, but you can't, like, I can't communicate how I feel with you without feeling like, okay, this isn't a safe space. And that's where the issue is.
No, I feel that. Well, before I even share my thoughts, I want to share. So I posted it on Instagram. I asked my followers, my little bitty followers, I asked them what they thought about this topic, and I'll share with you what one guy said. So he said, like you said, some women enjoy the chase, just as some men enjoy the hunt. Not on anything disrespectful or teasing or leading you on, but just making sure you're serious about the pursuit of a relationship. Playing hard to get can be fun when it's kept classy and there's actually legitimate communication, or where things are leading. If she's letting you know that she wants you to earn her respect first before she lets herself get ahead of her, over heels for you, then I feel that's valid. It's not for everyone though, especially if you lack patience, lol. But that goes both ways. I feel men or anyone else should be able to want. Did I crop it? Hold on. Okay, here we go.
It's their communication. That's big.
Yeah, want some validated respect before deep diving into the dating process. I care about my time and feelings just as much as anyone else. And like I said, this is from a man. So yeah, based off that, and I agreed with him 100%. I honestly feel like a woman who knows what she wants and if she's actually into you, she's not gonna make you, like, she's gonna reciprocate in some way. She's gonna be interested in knowing like what you like, what you don't like, or at least just be, even if she's not in tune with the love languages and stuff like that, it's still the idea that you're trying, you're being thoughtful and things like that. So I mean, I don't know, I kind of feel like, you tell me from your experiences, like the women that it didn't work out with, to where you were giving everything and you weren't getting it back, can you, when you reflect on it, do you feel like it was a lack of interest on their end? Or they just straight up had a princess complex?
I think it was a princess complex, and also just, I don't think it was lack of interest. Not to sound cocky, but I feel like they were into me. It was just, from my standpoint, I didn't communicate earlier on. You know, when stuff was going good, and I'm paying for it, I'm taking care of her and dates, and I'm splurging. Yeah. It's somewhere in the early stage you have to have a conversation to, like, at least say, hey, you know, just let's find a way to get to that topic of, like, how can I get this, or how can we benefit each other, and it could be a mutual thing, not just me giving, you know. So it has to be. So that's where I think I went wrong. It's just I didn't speak up soon enough. Right.
And it's funny that you said that, because I feel like in my past dating experiences, like, I've always thought, like, do you express what you want up front to avoid being disappointed later, or do you watch what they naturally want to do so that you're not behavior modifying? And that's a slippery slope. Yeah. Because it's like, terrible. I want to know what you want to do on your own. Like, I don't want you doing these things because I asked you to, because then it's not going to come natural. So that means a year from now when you get comfortable, you're not going to do it because you're comfortable. You know, you're doing it now because I told you. So I'm just curious, like, with you, like, do you honestly feel like sharing what you need in the beginning, it could be helpful, but do you feel like basically what I just said?
Absolutely. No, I feel like when you're for me, what I want going forward is whoever I'm with next, like, let's talk. Let's be open. I've had so much stuff happen in my life that I just don't care anymore. I'm just straight up honest in who I am. I'm free. This is me, you know. So I think if you present that, if you have had stuff in your life that you're able to actually experience that, like where I'm at is just like, this is me. I'm open. I'm Aaron Wilson. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that person is in that same space, then you can have a conversation early on. And
no games.
And no games. Just no, like, let's not play. Like, I'm 32 years old. My mama want grandkids, you know, and I'm not trying to rush into that, but I do want a wife. I do want kids and a dynasty. So I feel like that's something you have to start early, you know?
Yeah. No, I feel that. Let me just look at my little notes. So going back to what I said before about the idea that women are supposed to, men are supposed to pursue. I think for me, and I'm just sharing my own experience, I feel like I've been in more situations than not where, like, I would go into a situation with the mindset that just as much as women have experiences that men ain't shit, men be having experiences that women ain't shit. So my mindset is, if I'm feeling somebody, going in, showing effort, and showing a level of consistency. But the thing is with that, I feel like, I don't know if it's innate because men like to hunt, but I feel like like, you know, it's in their DNA in a sense. But like, it's like, as soon as you're consistent, or you're putting in effort, or you're giving a level of reassurance in a sense, that's when they fall back and they either don't try as hard, or they just take it for granted and like don't communicate as much because they think you'll always be there or something. I don't freaking know. But anyway, I say that to say, would you say there's, like, as a woman, how do you find balance? And I'm always talking about balance, but it's like, how do you find balance between showing someone you're interested and you're into them, so you're also helping them? Let me give you this preface. I think that everybody is still, in a way, healing from their past experiences. I don't care what nobody says. People say, oh, don't bring in baggage from the last thing. We are human. Yeah. Like, you're gonna be triggered by past stuff, whatever. Like, that shit don't fully go away. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, I say that to say, my mindset is going into, again, a situation that I'm feeling. I'm trying to erase this past experience. So trying to show consistency, show something different, to where it's like, I'm not like the last person you were with. But again, when you do that, it seems like men just get, and not even on no clingy shit, just like I said, consistent. So I say that to say, how do you feel women can find balance between giving reassurance, but also not taking the hunt away from a guy? Because it seems like men, they say they don't want to chase, but I think they do.
Man, that's I think, okay, so I'm just being honest. In the past, the old, not me anymore, the old one, if intimacy was there, I could be honest, I may have lost interest after that happened, you know, and not that sounds so bad, but in a way that was like, okay, well, it's tough. I feel like for me, once that had happened in my past and we really haven't had much communication about anything else, I feel like at that point in time, a lot of guys will say this, but it feels like, okay, maybe I wasn't the only person in that situation. That's one particular, way of looking at it. But
wait, so you're saying that you think that you don't think it's about, like, generally speaking, you don't think it's about the women putting in too much effort. You think it's about whether or not she's having sex with the guy?
No, so don't get me beat up. I don't want to get beat up. I don't want. No. I'm just saying, I've had situations. I'm thinking about different particular situations in my life where, okay, perhaps I lost interest and the person was put in.
Now, how long was she dating? How long was y'all dating?
That's a good question. A little while.
What's a little while?
A couple months, 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months.
Yeah. So I don't want to get beat up, but it's just in particular situations like that, I can think of, okay, this happened here. Another time, perhaps it felt a little bit too clingy.
Yeah.
So like I said, different situations. So clingy, maybe, it was just too much all at once. Yeah. Or I wasn't, one particular time, I wasn't in a good headspace. Like I just wasn't mentally prepared for what that person had to give.
Yeah.
And that particular situation I have thought about, but yeah, different stuff like that could be a particular reason. Every man goes through different stuff. You know, for me, I would say for a woman, I don't really know how to answer this question because it's hard. It's hard these days to really tell what a woman should do to keep a man's interest. I think honestly, communication is real.
Yeah.
Like that's what I've learned. That's what the sum of everything that I've learned is what do you communicate? What do you verbalize? What do you put out in the atmosphere?
Yeah.
If it's playing around, if y'all aren't talking about nothing, then it's gonna be nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. If you're talking about this and if this guy isn't willing to speak about his future with you, perhaps he has no interest in the future.
Right.
Perhaps he's just there for that moment. And that happens. I've been there. I've been in situations where I wanted more out of a person and they were just there for that moment.
Yeah.
And I held on to that moment for way too long. You know, so I think it all comes back to communication. Like talk. Put a nigga on the spot.
Yeah.
If he ain't
No,
ready,
that's real.
he gonna sweat and you gotta let it go.
No, that's real. I mean, yeah, I think that I'm just trying to think like.
I had to fix that because I didn't sound like I was.
Oh no, it's all good. I mean, that's your experience. I thought you were talking about like someone you had, you know, like just met or like you weren't dating that long, and I'm like, oh, like that's why you're not like, you know. But what if you're saying 6 to 8 months? I can understand why in the way things are normalized nowadays, why you'd be like, nah, this ain't it, 6 to 8 months. But yeah, anyway, so okay. How do you feel when should a woman start reciprocating? Like, okay, when I say that, I mean like calling. Oh, okay. I realize that, let's say if a man calls you, I'm only speaking from my own experience, I'm not saying this is the case for every man, but let's say if a man calls you, you notice that he calls you after work or you whatever, so you start reciprocating. So you'll randomly call him because he randomly calls you. But then a lot of times it seems like he don't want you to do that. He can do it to you, but you can't do it to him. Or like, for example, just honestly, any level, anything that involves like being thoughtful and stuff like that, it seems like they get scared. Like it's like, oh, this is too much. So I say that to say, when do you feel like a woman should start to reciprocate? Like, do you feel like in the beginning?
Yes, please.
No, what I was gonna say is, do you feel like in the beginning, a woman should wait and see what the man is willing to do first, and then start putting out? Or
yeah, I mean, I'm not by any means. I feel like men are still to pursue, like, because it's biblical. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. He has to find that wife. So, you know, in that sense, we still are to pursue a woman and serve your woman. That's all biblical. But I feel like at some point in time, don't wait till like, dang, I don't know if this girl feeling me or not. Like, I need some, like, text me in the morning. Like, you know, because I got a lot, like, even when I was working in the field, working as a pharmaceutical sales rep, I saw a lot. It was a lot of traveling. Like, I did a lot, you know. So I wish in moments I had somebody to text me like, hey, how are you? You know, how's the road? Are you safe? Especially working in some parts of Georgia, rural Georgia. I'm in some KKK like Trump areas, and it's just like, like, check on me, make sure I'm good. Yeah. And to me, that's reciprocation. Like, that's making me feel okay. She's worried about me. Like, she wants me, you know, share my location. Like, that's how I want to feel. Right. Like, that's that security, that safety that men don't talk about, but that's what they really, really want.
In the beginning, though. The first few months.
Like, first few months, absolutely. Because maybe I'm different. Because okay, so my parents got married at 18 years old. My dad was just freshly 18. My mom, I think was turning 19 soon. So I grew up in a household that's still married, 30 plus years. So I grew up in a household, that's what I saw. Yeah. You know, my parents wasn't perfectly married. They had issues that I also saw, but I saw them fight for each other. I saw them fight for me and my sister. Yeah. And that's what I grew up in. So my mindset's a little bit different than most men, because, I mean, I can't say
you had a great example.
I had a good example, and that's what I wanted, and and I forced that earlier on in my life. And now that where I'm at now, society has changed from what my parents, you know, back in the 80s, getting married in Little West Hampton Beach, New York, like, you know, it's different. You know, it's different to now when you got Hinge, whatever it's called, and it's hard. It's different.
No, I feel it. I feel that. How do you think that if you're in, let's say you're dating someone and you're not getting what you want, how, now that you've been through therapy, you've been through premarital or
Both.
all of them, you went to all, so based on what you've learned, how do you feel if you're not getting what you want? How do you go about that?
I think, like I said, still, men, like, we set the tone, like,
Yeah.
we have to set the tone. So I think before, I never really set the tone, like, it just absolutely speaking and like, being vulnerable with your woman. Like, I'm more than vulnerable right now. I don't care if I cry in front of you. I don't care if it's, having a bad day and having a great day. If I'm feeling goofy, I'm gonna be all of me in front of whoever I'm with.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how you change that. If I answer the question.
Yeah.
I start talking.
So no, you're fine. So you're basically saying that, like, communicate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Communicate. Like, it has to start with us. We set the tone. We have to talk early. We have to, in the same time, it's like I said, I'm not sure what every man's looking for. You could be looking for that moment, but you're looking for a long term. I'm looking for a long term thing.
Yeah.
I've had my moments, especially in college. I've had my time.
Yeah.
And I'm over that, So not every man will have that mindset,
Right.
ladies. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but
Right.
and men too. Not every ladies. I've had situations in being single was like, okay, I wanted more, but she wanted a moment, and okay, cool, we're grown, let's move on from it.
Yeah.
But I think that's just what it is. It's talking.
Yeah. Do you feel like, obviously communication is everything, right? Let's say you address it. How many times should someone address a need before they realize it's not a fit, in your opinion?
So this is where I fail, because I don't have patience. I don't have any patience, and I think, I'm not sure. I feel like once you realize that this person is just not willing, and they're ignorant, and they're not trying to help themselves and help the situation, then if it's getting toxic and it's arguments and it's just, personally, if it's messing with your mental,
Yeah.
let it be. That's because I dated somebody that really messed with my mental, and it wasn't until it got really, really bad, I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
What the, like, never again would I allow a situation to go that far.
Yeah.
So men, same thing. If a person is getting to you mentally, it doesn't matter how good everything else is in the bedroom, because that's usually what keeps the situation going on, is the toxic makeup sex.
Yeah.
And that's the situation that keeps it going, but we gotta think with our heads.
Right. Right. Think with your heads, not with your head.
Yeah.
That head. But yeah, I mean, I guess really, I don't know. Do you have any other points to share? If not, I was just gonna.
I want to hear about, like, what do women want?
Yeah. Well, you can ask me.
I mean, we're about the same age, right? We're about the same age.
I'm not a month older than you.
I'm 32 November.
Oh, you're a month older than me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in your experiences, what do you think? Where do you think men have dropped the ball when it comes down to how you want to feel?
Where haven't they dropped it? Let me stop. I think that, I know it depends on the guy, but I feel like there's way more men that are not, and I'm kind of repeating myself, that they think they're ready for something, but they're really not. So like, and I think that a lot of men spend so much time focused on either their past experiences or focused on the idea that women ain't shit, that when something good actually comes, they don't know what to do with it. And that's real. And I feel like, and I'm not even saying this on no righteous shit, like, I went through my toxic phase, like where I was toxic, and now I feel like now where I'm in a phase where I'm, in a healthy space, and I feel like, I feel that, I can't speak for the men, but I feel that I have a great balance between not being clingy, but also being reciprocal and giving effort. And I just feel like regardless, it doesn't matter what you give. If a guy is not really ready, it don't mean nothing. So I don't know. Does that answer your question or no?
Yeah. No.
I will say from a woman's standpoint about the reciprocity thing, because I can really only speak for myself, that if you give a woman a lot, like I had a few other responses on Instagram, and I saw a pattern, and I feel like I think men get disheartened by women who aren't really interested in them. And it's the same for women. And I feel like if men would actually like pursue the women who are actually looking for something, they won't have as much issues. And the same for the women. I feel like women are very intuitive and we need to use that. And if a man is showing you that.
So how do we know though? Like, how do I know if you're interested in me or not without me trying to pursue you and then find out, okay, this person really isn't digging me?
I mean, so going back to the idea of the chase, I feel like if you're showing a woman interest and she ain't biting back, she's just not interested.
True.
And I think, I think that men, instead of loving the chase, they just keep pursuing, and now you're uptight. And then if you offer to take a girl out and she ain't really showing you much, she not really showing much interest, but you offer to take her out, but she like, all right, I'm gonna go, free dinner. That's on you. Like, you can take her out, spend some money on her, and then really see the vibe when you're together. But ultimately, you know when someone's interested. Yeah. I mean, I think we all be knowing. We just don't use our discernment. We don't. Our hearts are just like, no, let's just try it. Let me just try a little longer. But I think for me, going back to what you said before, I think that if I don't see what I want.
What do you want?
What happened?
What do you want?
Not talking about that now. Okay, what I'm saying is, if I have to remind you more than twice about something I like, then after that, it's like, all right, it's done. It's done. Cause like.
But what are those? I mean, for me, it's like, what are those things that?
Every woman is different, though.
Right.
True. Like every woman wants something different. I'm just saying, generally speaking, like I would say. Well, I guess I could say for me, my main love languages are quality time and physical touch. And it's like, if you're not, if I'm dating a guy and he doesn't value quality time, it ain't gonna work. Or like, I like thoughtful things. If you're not being thoughtful, it's kind of hard to say to a guy, like, can you be more thoughtful, or can you surprise me, or whatever. But I feel like if you're not seeing, like, my therapist told me that men show their best in the first few months. So if you ain't getting what you want in the first few months, it probably ain't never coming. My argument to that is that sometimes men need to know they need to know you're a safe space before they start giving more. But I really do feel like, again, going back to the hunt, like if a man is really like trying to pursue you, he should be showing his best cards like in the beginning, if he's vetted the woman. So yeah, anyway, that's how I feel about the whole reciprocity thing.
I feel like we're speaking to the choir right now.
Word.
Because we both have the same thought process.
Yeah. Any last thoughts? By the way, guys, I look off like this because that's how I listen. So most of this video is gonna be me looking like this, but
That's just fun.
But yeah, so tell everybody your Instagram and tell them what you got going on too. So
So I just left corporate world. So I am right now full-time entrepreneur, photographer, videographer here in Atlanta, and also have my clothing line, streetwear clothing line, coming out this summer called Love Kari. My Instagram is @Aaron_, WARONW. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's connect.
Thank you for being a part of this.
This was dope.
And until next time. Cool. Wait, let me say this shit before.
Hope that helps somebody.
I was all over the place.
I was too bad. Came down.
Yeah, I mean, it's real, but I'm usually never that like all over the place. I feel like I was like not mentally prepared for the like. It's my fault, but I feel like I didn't take time to like.
It was good conversation.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
What happened?
The next one's at 7.
Yeah. Let me see. How is this? Oh, I see. Oh. Yeah. So this is okay. Cool. This is saved. Yep.
Okay. All right.